Hi, my name is Kristen Mason. I'm here with KC Women's Ministry, and today I'm going to be talking to Rhiannon Edwards. She is the owner of Swoon Birth KC and a student midwife with KC Homebirth. She's going to be doing an enrichment for KC Women's Ministry all about home birth, and we are super, super excited about it. Thank you so much for joining me today, Rhiannon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So tell me about yourself. How did you get into home birth?
Okay, so I got into home birth because of actually having hospital births. So I started out, my first two were in the hospital, and then when with my third pregnancy, I just started looking into other options. I had heard about, in the meantime, I had heard about doulas and just became more aware of childbirth and actually what was going on. I was just super young when my first two were born and didn't even know to ask the questions. And with my third pregnancy, I chose to have a home birth.
Very cool.
It just kind of, it skyrocketed from there.
Were there any people that you kind of were able to reach out to kind of educate you about home birth, or like books that really spoke to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so it was the midwife herself. Like, just going and having a consult is super important because you don't have to do anything. You're just here to ask all of the questions, meet with a midwife that you think you like. You can go online and find anyone in your area, schedule a consult, ask all of the questions in the world, and you will learn a ton just by sitting down and talking.
Yeah, absolutely. Going around and talking to different midwives, just because you're doing a home birth doesn't necessarily you're going to jibe with every single home birth midwife out there, and really getting to pick who you feel the most comfortable with is an extremely important part of preparing for home birth. I definitely agree. So did you doula for very long yourself, or did you kind of jump straight into midwifery?
So I jumped straight into midwifery, but I also jumped straight into doulaing as well. So they kind of went hand in hand. A lot of the birth experience that I got at home was just as important as the experience that I got in the hospital as a doula. I actually had so much experience doulaing and assisting at home that I reached out to a local doula to ask her if she could help me get some more hospital experience. Oh, cool. Because it is important that the out-of-hospital midwives know what it's like to birth in the hospital, even though I have, but know what it's like to, as far as communicating with doctors, of course, in a completely different aspect, but it's still important to understand what's happening there and to prepare our clients if they do transfer, whether it's an emergency or not.
That's awesome. Yeah, some of our doulas with the ministry have only done hospital births. The ministry tends to mostly do hospital births, but we absolutely love home birth, and we're super, super excited to learn more about it from you. Tell me about, like, with home birth, what tends to be kind of the role of the doula in a home birth?
Yeah, so at home, let's see, if you're going to compare them, like, the biggest difference is going to be in home. There's not as much movement going on. There's not, someone coming in, turning on lights. We're not super invasive, I guess that you could say. So the doula really gets to focus more on helping the mom get into her perfect birthing space and meditation and really focusing. So there's not as many distractions. It's really good. I like having doulas at home births because of that, they can really focus on the mom, and the midwives can really focus on how well the mom and the baby are doing.
That's so wonderful. So basic, just overall idea, what are we going to be taking away from the workshop that you're going to be doing for us?
Okay, so the workshop, I'm focusing on really just telling you the ins and outs of home births, what to expect prenatally, when you're in labor, and then postpartum, as far as home birth goes. And a lot of other fun birth stories, really what to expect with the home birth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just personally really excited to be able to talk to you about, questions, general questions, and maybe even specific ones, for people who have never been to a home birth before, which my first baby was actually born at home. And then I've done a few home births as a doula, as a sister. And so I love them, and I have had experience in them, but I always have questions, and I'm really excited for the opportunity for, KC Women's Ministry doulas and other doulas in the area to be able to learn more and kind of get to have a glimpse into the home birth world. But I'm also really excited about the, future parents or people who are parents
Mhm.
already having more children, who might be looking into having a home birth.
Mhm.
I was recently reading about how home birth has really spiked in the last year with all of the added restrictions that have been going on in hospitals. Has that been your experience lately?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people are kind of choosing to do home birth, um you're absolutely right that anyone, this class is going to be so great for anyone, like whether it's a doula, but more importantly, I think it will be geared towards parents who are just wondering, when they're like, is home birth safe? I'm going to totally answer that. And it, like all these like, what would you say, like taboos or myths about home birth, I'm going to talk
Mhm.
about them because it's actually very and I know like normal is kind of a funny word to say because you kind of create your own normal, but
Mhm.
it is normal, it is safe, and we're not doing it because we just love taking risks. We do home
Right.
birth because it's safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, home birth. Yes, absolutely. And I remember when I was planning my home birth, how many people were just like, "Oh my gosh, that's so dangerous." It's, no, it's not. It's really not. And I'm
Hmm.
really glad that you're going to be talking about that. And there's all kinds
Yeah.
of things that, midwives do to make home births, even more safe. And
Yeah. So, and I'll go into like the glimpse of like what the care is like, so you can see just how thorough it is and what's happening. So, yeah.
yeah, awesome. Okay, well, I'm super excited to learn all about the ins and outs of home birth from you. I'm really excited for, this information to be out for other people. If you want to get tickets to this enrichment, they are going to be available at www.kcwomensministry.org/events. If the enrichment is already done, that doesn't mean that you don't get to enjoy it. It will also be available on Udemy. Thank you so much for joining me today, Rhiannon. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And this is gonna be so much fun. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Bye.